a goal I had for myself this year when it comes to reading was to read all the unread books on my bookshelf. And I did not meet that goal, but I did make a huge dent, and I am super proud of myself for that. However, I thought it would be fun to see how many unread books I actually have on my shelf. I have a plan next year for tackling the unread books on my shelf each month. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot for reading 6 books every month. I want to read one book on my Kindle just because. I want to reread one book that I've read in the past and enjoyed. And I want to read 3 books from my bookshelf that are already there. So I feel like that will put me in a position to where I will be able to actually put a dent in the books on my bookshelf. Just kind of be more consistent with doing that, and kind of be more mindful when I'm selecting the books that I want to read. I am going to be moving more into being a mood reader than creating like TBRs and stuff. So I just want to keep those books in mind when I'm mood reading, because I bought the books for a reason. Also, the 3 books that I'm going to read that I already own, they don't have to necessarily be physical books on my shelf, because I do buy a lot of books on Audible. So I want to make a dent in that list as well. But today we're just going to be cataloging all the books that I have physically on my bookshelf that are unread. Let's get into it. So moving shelf by shelf, I've read both of these books, and when book 3 comes out next year, I am going to probably read that immediately. So this is the Legendborn cycle. Really enjoyed these books. It's basically a King Arthur based fairy tale that deals with demon hunting, secret societies, and issues in the modern world. So I guess you could call it like an urban fantasy. And it's really cool, really unique. I really enjoyed it. Next shelf, I have read all of these books. These are definitely going to be on my reread list next year. Especially these 3. They just give me such great winter vibes, especially this first one. So I might reread this one in like February or something, maybe. But I do want to put these on my list of rereads. I loved these too. These are better than these, but these are really good. They give like classic YA nostalgia. These follow the story of Elena, who is basically a chosen one in a war-torn world, and she has to find herself and find a way to make the world better for people like her. This duology follows this group of thieves. It's very found family, and it's super fun and exciting. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. On this next shelf, I only have one book on here that I have not read, and that is Two Twisted Crowns. So that's first one of this video. This is part of the Shepherd King duology, which is about a girl who kind of has a curse, and she's trying to free herself from the curse. It has a really unique magic system. I think there's going to be an interesting love triangle that kind of started at the end of this book, and I think it's going to heat up in this book. I've heard really good things about it, so I'm looking forward to jumping into it. I liked this book, and I hope I love this one. Next shelf, I've read all of these, so proud of myself for that, and I really like the color scheme going on here. This shelf, once again, I've read all of these books, and these are some of my favorite books. These are all books by Black authors, and they are all about just Black girls stepping into their power. They're all like Black fantasy books, which I find really hard to find. That's the genre that I write. I write romantasy, and all my female main characters are going to be Black women. So I love to see it, and I love this little shelf. On the other hand, I have read nothing on this shelf. So that's The Children of Blood and Bone trilogy. I think this is called the Arisha trilogy. So there's 1, 2, 3 of these that I'm adding to my list. So that brings us to 4, 5, 6, 7. I've heard really great things about both of these series, and I'm looking forward to jumping into them next year. Also heard great things about Divine Rivals. Heard mixed reviews about Ruthless Vows, not gonna lie, but I'm going to read it myself and make up my own mind. So that brings us to 9 books unread total on my shelf. All right, this is the very bottom shelf, so I wish you could see how I'm contorted to try to get these books in the camera. But anyway, yes, I did recently declutter these books, but I read just a little bit of Foxglove and I'm intrigued, so I decided to give them a shot. And if I do end up enjoying them, you know, they're gorgeous book covers and they look great on a shelf. So I am going to keep these for now and see if I enjoy them. So I've read Belladonna, have not read Foxglove or Wisteria, so we're adding those to the tally. Over here on this shelf, I've read all 3 of these. I've read Heartless Hunter. I keep them faced this way because I think the sprayed edges are gorgeous and it's kind of cute, like all lined up here together. I've read Heartless Hunter. I have read After the Forest. And I've also read Sleep Like Death. These are all Owl Crate editions of these books. And I enjoyed all 3 of them. The way they're ranked on here, I didn't do this on purpose, but the way that they're stacked on here is kind of the level of enjoyment I had in them, or they like the ranking I would give them to get if I was ranking them against each other. Read it, have not read it, so we'll add that one. Have not read it. This was on my December TBR, but I don't think I'm going to get to it. I do want to read it in January though, because it's called Winterwood and I want to read it in the winter time. Read it. This is Gothicana, and I have it facing away just because, you know, the edges are lovely. But yeah, read this one this past November, I think. October or November, one of those. This, I recently went to see Wicked, and I fell in love. So I got this beautiful edition of Wicked, the novel, and I'm definitely planning on reading that next year. So that's another one to add to the tally. What are we up to? I don't even know. I'm going to keep, hopefully I already did this, but I'm going to be keeping track on screen. And then this is a recent purchase, Spark of the Everflame. I only got the first one because there's 2 or 3, I think, out right now. But I got this one in Target. The second one was right there next to it, but I did not buy it because I want to see if I like the first one first, keeping with that new rule that I have for myself. So that is that shelf. Since I'm already down here, I decided to just move over and not up. I've read the entire Monsters and Muses series. I did that this past year, 2024, and I'm so proud of myself for that. Yeah, I'm proud of myself that I read them. Because starting off the year, like going into 2024, I'd only read the first 2, so I read the other 4 this year. Solid series, highly recommend it if you are a fan of dark romance. I also highly recommend, if you like your dark romance a little funny, this, I think it's the Dark Princess series, so it's My Dark Romeo and My Dark Desire for now, and then I guess the 3rd book's coming out next year because they have like a 3rd friend in their little friend group. And then underneath this, I have Verity by Colleen Hoover, which I've read. I've also have the only 2 Ever After novels that I vibed with. I have Hooked and Twisted, and I have read all of those. So moving up to the next shelf, I've got my Heartstopper graphic novels. I've read all 5 that are out, and I plan on reading the 6th one whenever I can get my hands on it, whenever it comes out. So yeah, so I've read everything there. I've also read all of these. Everything is my favorite sort of like contemporary YA romance that I've ever read. So loved that. I liked Instructions for Dancing, Check and Mate. I really enjoyed Allie Hazelwood is so funny. And this is Love in the Time of Serial Killers. I really like serial killers and true crime. So it kind of spoke to me in that way, and I really enjoyed it. It was funny and lighthearted, and it was a good little read. This is just my book. that I wrote, and it lives here, and I have read it. So up to the next shelf. So this is where I keep my books that have printed edges. I'm out of room pretty much. I think there's going to be a third one in this, so I'll probably be able to squeeze that in because these aren't too long. But I have not read any of these books, and since they're facing away from me, I'm going to have to show them to you one by one. So we are adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books to the tally. So I have not read For She Is Wrath, but it sounds really cool. Sounds like a woman scorned, and she's gonna go get revenge, and I'm all for that. Okay. Then this is At the End of the River Styx. These are all Owl Crate, by the way, besides these two right here. And I don't know what this is about, but it gives dark academia just from like looking at the edges and the inside artwork and everything. And the River Styx, Greek mythology, I love it. I'm all about it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that one when I get space in my schedule. Immortal Dark, also giving dark academia from what I've heard about it. And yeah, I'm probably going to save this one for October, but I have that one. Haven't read it. Got it, I think, in the October Owl Crate box. The Shadows Between Us is about a girl who is uncommonly beautiful, I'm guessing, just from reading the synopsis, and she charms the king. Her goal is to marry the king, kill him, and like take over the kingdom. But his son, the prince, kind of comes into the picture, and I think they fall in love or something. This is by Trisha Levenseller, and she's the author of the Daughter of the Pirate King series. This is book 2 of that. The Darkness Within Us. So I have both of those. And then I have this, which I think is going to be part of a series. Castle of the Cursed. I have no clue what this is about. None at all. But the edges are beautiful, and I will be reading this next fall, more than likely. And then my last two on this shelf, What the River Knows and Where the Library Hides. And I have heard that these give the Mummy vibes. They're like ancient, well, I think it's just like not really a modern world, but not ancient Egypt, and a girl is trying to solve a mystery, and that's all I know. So I'm excited about that because The Mummy was like my favorite movie growing up, one of my favorites. Next shelf. I have read and loved every book on my Holly Black shelf. I have the Modern Fairy Tales, the Folk of the Air trilogy, How the King of Elfheim Learned to Hate Stories, and then the Stolen Air duology. Up here, I have read The Merciful Crow, but not The Faithless Hawk yet. I have also not read, this was a recent purchase, courtesy of the Target Books section, Beautiful Villain. This is supposed to be a Great Gatsby, like, retelling, I'm assuming. Yeah, retelling. Great Gatsby retelling. It also matches my nails. And then this one, Filthy Rich Fae. This was one that I picked up in Walmart a while back, and it's giving gang wars but with fae. So sign me up for that, and I will be reading that next year. I have read everything on my Stephanie Garber shelf. Love Caraval, love Once Upon a Broken Heart even more. I'm reading Spectacular this month, so it's over on my desk. And those are all the books that I have physical copies of that I have yet to read. So hopefully they will all get read in 2025. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye.